Hello, this is Charlie O, and I just wanted to talk to you. And first of all, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I know I haven't been on in a minute. It's been a while. It's been a long couple of months, so bear with me. I'm sorry. I'll try to get on a lot more than I do. But today I want to talk about the differences between Japanese wrestling and American wrestling. I found out these differences from watching at least 20 or so episodes between yesterday and today of Japanese wrestling. The one thing that stuck out in my mind was the fact that they didn't, actually not just one thing, several, but one of the biggest things that stood out in my mind was the fact that they, when they concentrate on the body part, they concentrate on the body part. Even if, let's say, their finisher is like a DDT. If they've worked the opponent's legs, you best to believe they're putting on a figure four or some kind of leg submission move. If not to weaken it, to make the person tap out. The other thing that I noticed, which to me was kind of impressive, was how fast it moved. I mean, the only people that I noticed, the only American wrestlers that I noticed that went that fast were cruiserweights. Now, there were some heavyweights, and there were some cruiserweights in, well, what I would consider cruiserweights in the Japanese division. But both cruiserweights and heavyweights moved rather quickly. I mean, I was impressed at how fast they were all moving. I also noticed how much they used their feet. Their kicks were crisp and hard and on target. It was incredible how fast they were moving, and how fast the kicks were coming, and how hard the kicks were coming. I mean, and it wasn't just that. It was the moves. Like if they did a backbreaker, you could feel it. Like you could feel you'd feel it all in your own body, and you weren't even wrestling. That's all I'm gonna say. You felt it in your own body, and you weren't even wrestling. So explain that to me. So yeah. Also, the other thing was there are no storylines. At least that's what it looked like to me. There are no storylines, so there was nothing really no talking to get in the way. I mean, and that to me was something that I really enjoyed. I don't mind a storyline or two, but I feel like both TNA and WWE spend at least half the program of an hour program, mind you, doing storyline. And I'm like, really, in the time that it takes for them to do the storylines, I could see at least 3-4 wrestling matches. Now, with that said, the Japanese, speaking of time, time of matches, that is, the Japanese wrestlers, their matches last 40 to 50 minutes on one match. So I'm like just floored at the whole thing. And not only do they last long, but you don't know who's gonna win. Whereas when you watch WWE or TNA, you know pretty decently who's, you kind of have a good idea who's gonna win. Like if you have someone like Samoa Joe from TNA and Jeff Hardy from TNA, there's a good chance Samoa Joe's kicking ass. Or if you have Undertaker versus, like, say, let's see, Rey Mysterio, there's a good chance that Undertaker's going to win. With these, you have no clue as to what's going to go down, how it's going to go down. And to me, that's just impressive. You know, it had me on the edge of my seat the whole match, from beginning to end. I think that the WWE and TNA have to step up their game, because you know the Japanese are delivering a better product, in my opinion. They're delivering a better product, and you know it's just wrestling. There's no storyline. There's no, the boss is trying to screw over people. It's just it's just wrestling, and that's what I like. Getting back down to the basics of wrestling. That to me is pretty cool. So that's just my 2 cents. This is Charlie O signing off. Please leave comments, questions, whatever, in the comment section. See ya.